3 months yesterday it was that you were sacked by Southampton. How have you reflected on things since then and your time at the club?
Look, I've had a lot of time to reflect, as I always do. And as I said, I wanted to go there and be successful. That wasn't the case. So if you're not successful, it's important that you learn. And I've reflected on my time, things I would have done differently and stuff. And yeah, but it's one of those things, and it's been a big learning curve for me.
What would you have done differently?
There's a lot of things probably not to go into now, but there's a few little things I need to do when I first went in and so on. But look, it's a wonderful club. I had the trust of the owners, and I just wish I should have bought myself a bit more time in terms of stuff, so I've implemented what I wanted to and what they wanted me to implement.
I remember speaking to you at Stoke actually after your final game in charge of Luton, and then you went on later that week to take the job at Southampton. Was it different, the step up from the Championship to the Premier League, than what you thought it was going to be?
No, I went in there with my eyes wide open in terms of everything. So it wasn't, the Championship is a really strong, really competitive, real tactical league. You step up, and the Premier League is different. It is very, very tactical. It is obviously the quality in the Premier League and everything around it. So no, it wasn't anything different. And as I said, sometimes you take a little bit of time to adapt and so on. But no, I enjoyed my time. For the majority of things, I enjoyed my time. Certain things, as I said, I would have done differently. But I really enjoyed my time there.
When you speak about some of the things that you might have done differently, one of the things we spoke after a lot of Luton games over the years, and I always respected the fact that you were incredibly honest, always said what you thought. A lot of managers come out and give platitudes, but that wasn't the case with you at Luton, and it wasn't the case with you at Southampton. Do you think that occasionally your honesty came back to bite you, or people were critical of how honest you were as a manager?
Look, I think you have to be authentic as a person, as a manager or whatever. That's me, in terms of everything. But I only think there was probably one interview where it was probably a little bit ill-timed. Definitely sort of misconstrued my things, because at the time I accept responsibility for everything. I've never ever come out and not accept responsibility for anything. Never hung a player or anything out to dry. So it was probably a little bit ill-timed. But I've learned from that in terms of stuff. But as I said, the important thing for me is to be honest, to be authentic, and to be myself. And that's what I am.
So that one time, would that be the time when you said about compromising principles?
Just things after the Brentford game. Look, I don't want to go really into that because it's a big thing. But I looked at the side at that day, and I needed my team to be better on that day. And I looked at it and thought that's not my team there in terms of on that day. But as I said, I learned a lot from my time there. The players, to be fair, can't be critical, because every day I really enjoyed working with the players. Look, I just needed to win enough games so that I could have implemented what I needed to.
How difficult was that job at being manager of Southampton this season? Because so many players in that squad had no Premier League experience at all, and that must be a significant factor, that young players, very talented young players, I mean, you work with them every day, you would know better than me, but you're asking them to step up, and there wasn't too many senior players to guide them.
I know, but then you look, there are senior players there. Then they look to the management and so on. And look, I enjoyed my time there, and that's where I can't be critical of too much. I enjoyed my time there. It was a learning curve. I would have liked to stay there longer, but that was me. I needed to get results, but I enjoyed my time. The owners backed me in terms of every day. Obviously, they brought me to the club and so on. So look, it was just a time that I learnt. I'm better for the experience. I've reflected, and I'm looking forward to the next challenge, and that's the important thing, really.
Do you think you'd have kept him up?
Look, that's something that if whatever I answer that, it's a bit of a loaded question. Wherever I answer that, it comes out. All I would have known is if I had got the results, then I know that they would. I would have kept improving the team because of the work we do. I believe in the work we do, but look, it's very, very difficult to turn around and say that, because I said the last thing I want is another headline. But I enjoyed my time. I've learnt. Looking forward to the next challenge, and that's the big thing.
Do you feel refreshed and ready to go again now?
Yeah, look, when you're in as a manager, when you're in there, it's it consumes you in every aspect of your life. So I've enjoyed a bit of family time. I've been away on holiday, which I don't get to do in March and so on, and things. And I'm really looking forward to my next challenge. And as I said, I'm refreshed. and ready.
Do you have anything particular in mind? Is there something in a club or a project that you would look at and think, yeah, that's the sort of challenge I'm after?
No, I'm a builder. I like to build. I like to be at places, you know, and for a long time, ironically, I believe that our work is deep. I believe it's not just results based. I believe that, you know, if you look at my previous club, we built a club there that wasn't reliant on just a manager being in place. There's right throughout the processes, the recruitment, every single thing, the structure, the culture, the philosophy, everything is in place there and has been for a long time. And I left on 2 occasions, but the club kept doing well. So it shows that whatever had been built there had been built on solid foundations, and that's what I like to do. I'm not a fly-by-night manager. I don't like to chop and change. You know, if I do choose a project or a project comes for me, then it's one that I really think I'm going to be there and be able to do good work, and that's the kind of thing I'd like to do.